almost at the whim of Laban. So he didn't get paid right, and he got tricked into marrying two women, which he was not going to do. But having said that, so now we've looked at the life of the trickster, but let me see if I can bring you forward 20 years. Everybody close your eyes very quickly. And at the pop of a finger, you are now 20 years in the future. Well, guess what? This trickster is now way back home. The last time he saw home, his brother was going to kill him. That's why he ran. More or less, he was a fugitive from justice. And now he is on his way home, and we pick up the story.
Unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall you speak unto my lord Esau. Thy servant Jacob saith thus.
Stop right there. If you notice, what he's doing is he's trying to feel out his brother. Remember, he hasn't seen him in 20 years. They don't have the same email account, so they can't talk. No Facebook at that time. So what he's doing is he's saying, tell my brother, he calls his brother Lord, and then he says, your servant is coming. Remember how he left. He stole everything. So he says, tell him, your servant is coming back home. And I respect your lordship.
He humbled himself.
He's feeling his way. He's feeling. Remember, his name hasn't changed yet. Go.
Thy servant Jacob saith thus, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now.
Keep going.
And I have oxen and asses, flocks, and men servants and women servants, and I have sent to tell my Lord that I may find grace in thy sight.
So he's trying to find grace in his sight. He knows, long story major, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but have you ever had to go back and, so now he's trying to ease his way back into the favor of someone who he hasn't seen in 20 years, knowing that the last time I saw you, I did you wrong. Shh. Go.
And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, We came to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him.
Stop right there. Watch this. They said they came and they talked to Esau, but Esau didn't give a response. He said, oh. So basically, this is what he did. He said, Lord, servant, deceiver. I know you, bro. So what he's saying is this. I ain't saying nothing. I'm going to let my action, or as I've heard down here, I can show you better than I can tell you. Because he's not letting his hand go. He's not showing him what he's going to do. So give me the next one. What does he think?
Then Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed.
So Jacob is greatly afraid and distressed for all of you. If you knew the last time you saw somebody, you had jacked up their money. And I don't want to say a small amount. I want to say a large amount. And I don't want to say a large amount. I want to say a large amount that they knew was theirs and they were waiting for. And then all of a sudden, life puts a twist in, and you got to go back to this person. How do you think not only you would feel, but they would feel? Now, wait. Before you answer that, we're going to flip this. Suppose you were the person that not only had the money, it was stolen from you. How would you accept that person? Now, I know all of you, I know, and I realize I'm preaching to angels. I understand this. And I know money means nothing to you. You only live for heaven. I understand that. But every once in a while, it really makes you want to say, Lord, I thank you. I'm not who I used to be. Shh. Give me some more.
And he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and herds and the camels into two bands.
Okay, and you can stop right there. What he does now is he's separating them into two different bands, because what he's thinking is if he's going to kill us, he won't kill all of us. He'll just kill one band, the other band will escape. And now we'll get into the lesson. Go.
And Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, and the Lord which saith unto me, Return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will deal well with thee.
Stop right there. Question for all of you. Do any of you think that you know the Lord your God? Do you think that you know him? How many of you know the Lord your God?
Yes.
Okay. So do you all think that you know God?
Yes.
Okay. Do you all believe that he is a covenant-keeping God?
Yes.
Okay. That's where I'm going with this. So he, like you, knows that there is a covenant-keeping God. Now, there's one thing that I need. One thing that I need to explain to all of you. That covenant-keeping God that you know, the one thing that he does not want you to do is remind him of his promises. Because when you remind him of his promises, he knows he's got to come through. So what he's doing is he's getting ready to remind. Now watch this. He is in deep trouble. Hang on. Let me see if I can put it to you like this. Have you ever been in a situation in your life where you said this, Lord, if you get me out of this one, you ain't never going to have a problem out of me. See, you're in elbow shot. You're counting on the covenant-keeping God because you know you jacked up. So you know that, Lord have mercy. You know that there is a God of grace and mercy. Now, I said, see, taking me off this lesson, my God, obviously, grace means you get more than you deserve. Mercy means you get less than you deserve. So you know that right now, if God don't move, I'm in trouble. He knows his life is on the line. So he needs that God. Now watch this. He tells God, you told me to come here.
That's right.
I did what you asked me to do. Don't let me die like this. Give me take me back.
Deliver me, I pray thee.
Stop. So going back to what I told you before, have you ever been in that situation where you knew if the Lord didn't come through, it was over? I promise you this. For those of you who've not been there, it's coming. It's coming. Every once in a while, God has to show that he is God and no one else. Give me some more shine.
Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau. For I fear him, lest he will come and smite me and the mother with the children.
Take me into the 20s. He has separated. Take me into 22. Take me to 22.
And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons and passed over the ford Jabbok.
Okay. So what happens is he raises up in the evening time, and in the evening time, he takes all of his family and he takes them and puts them across the river. So let's look at it this way. Let's say that we are in Baton Rouge, and if we were to go across the river, you all know where we would be. Okay. Port Allen. So he puts them all in Port Allen, and then he comes back. So he's by himself. So nothing can happen, he hopes. And go.
And he took them and sent them over the brook and sent over that he had.
Okay, he sent everything over that he had. Why? Because he's trying to protect his family. Because, now watch this. Think about this. Yes, he cheated Esau. Have you ever known some folks who say, you know what? I'm not just going to get you, but I'm going to get everything that's connected to you.
That's right.
Because what you did to me 20 years ago, I still feel it. And I want you to feel like I felt. And he don't know what his brother's doing. Remember, he has not been in contact with this man for 20 years. Last time he saw him, the man wanted to kill him. So he can't play no games. And it's a wonder. Every once in a while, the Lord I don't even want to put it like that. Every once in a while, we'll get into a situation where the Lord really wants us to be, I don't even want to use the word honest. I want to say dependent upon him. He wants to know, and say, well, Shandai. And secondarily, you know what? I got a question for all of y'all. How much do you trust God? How much do you trust him?
I trust God.
Question for all of you. Do you trust him with your life?
can he trust you?
And back into the lesson.
And Jacob was left alone,
Mm-hmm.
and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day.
Stop right there. This I did not give you, but let me give it to you very, very quickly. Every once in a while, not in every single case, but every once in a while, there's called this thing. It's called a theophany. Everybody say theophany. Theophany. A theophany, or some people call it the pre-incarnate Christ. Obviously, you all know Christ was born in the New Testament. Well, there were still, for lack of a better word, visions or shadows of him in the Old Testament. And they would be called, sometimes they would be called an angel of the Lord or an angel of God. But how do we know that they weren't? Because number one, they would accept worship. And there's only one being that's going to be worshiped. That's God. Number two, now we have him wrestling. Number three, when you look at Manoah, and for those of you who don't remember Manoah, that's Samson's father. There was an angel that came to his wife and said that you are supposed to name your child Samson. So he asked, well, he said he told his wife, the next time this guy comes, I want to see him. So this theophany comes again, and he gets a chance to speak to the theophany. And the theophany, or pre-incarnate Christ, explains to him that the baby's name is going to be Samson. Or last but not least, the one that you probably know a little bit more about. You all remember this place called Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Yes. You all remember there was this young man, we'll just say young man. He was one of the patriarchs. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Well, the man who actually, I like to put it this way. Does anybody remember Monty Hall? From Let's Make a Deal? That's essentially what Abraham did with God. He said, if you find 50, yeah. Well, what if it's 45? What if it's 40? Well, let's make a deal. What if it's 30? Yeah, 25. Can I go for what's behind the curtain? 15. And then he stopped at 10. Now, really, what he should have done to make it easy on himself, should have said, can you just save Lot and his family? And that would have been it. Because think about this. He negotiated him down to 10, and the Lord couldn't find 10. But moving on into the lesson.
And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh.
Stop right there. So what this man does is he wrestles. He wrestles all night. And for those of you who, do I have any, you know what? I'm in a church, so I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask anyway. Do I have any prayer warriors? So every once in a while, you have to wrestle. Now, understand something. I know that now, and I realize that where I am geographically, there's a difference between boxing, wrestling, and wrestling. Okay? So let me make it clear. I'm not talking about the figure 4 leg lock. I'm not talking about the junkyard dog. I'm talking about wrestling. So wrestling, you have your hands on the man and or woman, and you are in physical struggle. Yes, they're trying to flip you. Yes, you're trying to flip them. But your hands are in physical struggle, as opposed to boxing, where you can look pretty and back up. You good. Wrestling is not like that. Wrestling is struggle. So watch this. He's been struggling with this man all night. And the man refused to let him go, and he refused to let the man go. So they are wrestling, and they are refusing to submit. No one wants to submit. They're both wrestling. Give me just a little bit. Now, watch this. This went on for all night. So for those of you, and here, you get my sympathy. For those of you who have prayed all night and cried all night, you have my sympathy. I can't do that. I can't. So you have my sympathy. I know what it is to have to travail. I know what that is. But travailing all night, yes. However, when the need is great enough, you will travail. And if that means all night, it means all night. Go.
And the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him.
Now, I want all of you to think about, oh, there it is. I want all of you to think about this. This man wrestles with him all night, and neither one of them can prevail. Neither one of them can get over on the other one. So what this man does, or if you please, what the pre-incarnate Christ or the theophany does, is he takes his hand and he puts it on the inside of his thigh, and more or less he cripples him. He cripples him. But watch this. He still keeps wrestling. How do you think God feels about something when you will not take no for an answer? Every once in a while, something will come up in your life where you cannot take no. Lord, I'm going to hold on to you until you bless me. This situation is shot. This situation has got to change. I can't take it no more. We got to, whatever it takes. Yeah, it's almost old school Pentecostal. If I die, let me die in the army of the Lord. But I just can't. What? Let me see if I can make. Oh, Shandia Bosha. Let me see if I can make this just a little bit more personal. There can be times, and it happens in most of our lives, when your family cuts up and you can't take it no more. Now watch this. Let me see if I can break it down. Sometimes it can be husband and wife. I can't take it no more. Sometimes it can be husband and children. I can't take it no more. Sometimes it can be wife and children. I can't take it no more. Sometimes it can be job. I can't take it no more. Sometimes, oh, my God, my God. Now, see, that one jumped in. That wasn't supposed to jump in. Sometimes it can be a situation in the church. Say, I just can't take it no more. Watch this. You will say, you may not say it like he said, but watch this. What you may say is something like this: Lord, you got to do something, because I just can't take it no more. So it's Shanda. So essentially, this is where Jacob is. He cannot take no for an answer. He's got to have an answer. Lord, you got to do something. So again, I want you to imagine he is in pain. He is in pain. He's been wrestling all night. He just got crippled, and yet he still refuses to give up. Every once in a while in your prayer life, you will meet a wall that you're going to have to go through. Get ready for it. It's coming. I promise you. It's coming. Go.
And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob said, I will not let you go, except you bless me.
So Jacob said, we don't wrestle all night, and you think I'm going to let you go? Now, I want you to think about this. Think about this. Watch this. Now, they've been wrestling all night, but nowhere in the book does it say they talked. Doesn't say they had a conversation. He said, this is the first time you open your mouth, and you think. Oh, no. Watch this. Have you ever been listening for a word from the Lord and heard not a word? The Bible makes it clear that many times the Lord will say not a word. Now watch this. I want you to think about this. And then all of a sudden you hear, watch this. He's clearing his throat. and you would step back and say, no. You're like, we did all this. You know I got to wait for what's coming now. No, Lord. So that's how he feels. He is, you know what? I know none of you are, but have you ever been in a desperate situation? He's in a desperate situation. And this is what's going on. Go.
And he said unto him, what is thy name?
Uh-huh.
And he said, Jacob.
Stop right there. Now, what most of you don't get, and then I need to flip this to you. I want you to think about this. He's fought with this man for the whole night. This man has crippled him. And he says, I'm not going to let you go until you bless me. Let me explain bless right there. Bless means abundantly favor me. I want you to not just favor me, but abundantly favor me. Okay. Anybody can use abundant favor in here? Okay, one person. Good. I'm with you, so it's two of us. Right. It's two of us. So now I want you to think about this. So now he has him, and now he's talking, and first thing he asks him is, What's your name? And he says, Jacob. What did I tell you Jacob means? So I want you to think about this. The Lord is asking him, well, what is your name? Surely. Now, you don't see it, but it had to go like this. What's your name? Trickster. You know how when you get busted for something when you were a kid? I know you get. What's your name? Deceiver. What's your name? Con man. He got busted. Now, that's Jacob. Question for all of you. Before you met Christ, what was your name? That's a think question. You don't have to volunteer an answer. It's a think question. But I promise you, the you that's in here now is not the you that was out there then. So we can't look at Jacob askance and say, oh, yeah, he's a deceiver. What did we do that we had no business doing? So at this time, what you may want to do is you may want to thank God that he knew you when you didn't know him. Shh. That's the kind of graceful God we serve. He is graceful enough to wait for us to come and seek him. So we're dealing with the deceiver.
And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but
right
Israel.
there. So, ladies and gentlemen, your name shall no longer be called whatever it was when you were in the world. Now you are called a child of God. Everybody got it? Now you're called the saint of the Most High God. And you, when you were praying, Gerard said exactly what we are. He said, we are the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. Oh, you're going to take me somewhere I don't want to go. You're going to take. Let me say this real quickly, and then I'm going to move out. We as the church, we need to really recognize that we are the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. And I'll put it to you this way. When you recognize that you are the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus, your prayer life is going to change. Oh my God, I want all of you to remember, this is one of our turning points. The righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. That's what you are. And oh my God, tell now.
For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men.
So watch this. So what
has prevailed.
Has prevailed. So what he's saying is, as a prince, or he's giving him a new name. Watch this. Going back to what I just said, that was a title. Do any of you remember the Lord giving you a new name? Do you remember that? Let me see if I can put it in terms that you like to deal with. Do any of you remember when, you know what, you said, hey, I want to go to church. I like going to church. I didn't like going to church, but I like going to church. How about this? Do any of you remember when the Lord made himself personal to you? All of that is what's going on here. He's making himself personal. He's making himself personal. He has to change it. Question for all of you. Do any of you remember a bad habit you used to have when you were in the world? Okay. Now watch this. Whatever that habit is, you had to have it. Don't you thank God you don't need to have that no more? Just think about it. It was a habit. But thank God now you have, for lack of a better word, now you have a heavenly habit. Now you show up here. Sometimes, believe it or not, folks, we don't really realize how good God is. Let me put it to you this way. And we say this testimony and we say it and we're not really thinking about it. But watch this. Do you know, and it's trite, but it's true. Do you know that, as they say in a lot of these four quartet songs, I could have been dead. I could have been sleeping in my grave. But oh God, he made old death behave. Now, for some of us, that's absolutely true, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Some of us, we're like, well, you know what? I was a good at two shoes. I wasn't that bad. But you don't know what would have happened. But thank God for God. And let's move on.
And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, your name.
So, yeah, I like the way she does it with an attitude. You see, tell me, I pray thee, your name. What's your name? So he has revealed himself to the Lord, and now he asks the Lord what his name is. Go.
And he said, wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name?
Stop right there. Now she's bringing the tone back in. Or in other words, that ain't none of your business what my name is. Watch. Well, let me see if I can flip it for the rest of you. How many of you want a blessing from God? Okay. How many of you want more than a blessing? You want several blessings from God. Question. Do you care how he does it? Yes. Just do it. That's it. So
yes,
let it go. We got one person who cares. So we'll take hers because she cares. Okay. So now, give me some more.
And he blessed him there.
Okay. So he blesses him, or he gives him abundant favor. Question for all of you. Is there anybody in here who can use abundant favor? Again, I'm not talking about just favor, but abundant favor. What I'm talking about almost is this, that wherever you go, wherever your shadow touches, a blessing is waiting for you. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about abundant. See, oh God, see, you're throwing me off, and you're throwing me off. You're throwing me off. All I can tell you is get ready for abundant favor. Just get ready for it. Just prepare for it. Prepare for it. Prepare for it. Prepare for it. Don't know where that came from, but prepare for it. Go.
And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel.
Stop right there. And this is a question for all of you. Yes. Yes. I have a question for all of you. Now, all of you have said you remember when there was a time you were not sister so-and-so. You were not elder so-and-so. You were not deacon so-and-so. You were part of the world. This is my question. Do you remember, is there a place that you can mark where not only the Lord touched your life, but every time you think about it, you thank God that the Lord was there for you at that time? Or in other words, let me give it to you in church speak. If it had not been for the Lord who was on my side, where would I have been? Let me just give you a brief testimony of a man I know. This man, as a matter of fact, he's a friend of mine. This man had gotten in some trouble, in some serious trouble. And he had gotten in so much trouble at the FBI. This guy was a student. He was a student. He had gotten in so much trouble that the FBI came and they were going to be involved in what was going on. Long story made short, they accused him of doing something that he had a part in, but he did not do. So the FBI came there, and they checked up and down, did everything they could to prove whether he was part of it or not. And the Lord would not allow them to approve it. So this man subsequently went on. So that man can look back at that time and say, if it had not been. Because now understand something. This young man, memory serves me right, this young man was in his 20s, and the FBI was coming, and he was going to go to jail. His life has subsequently gone on. He has done well. But what I'm telling all of you is there should be a point in all of your lives that you should be able to actually point to and say, you know what? This is where, and Peniel means, or Peniel means vision of God. Well, actually, I saw God and God saw me and I lived. Or for us, let me put it to you this way. The Lord put his hand on me and showed favor on me, even when I didn't deserve it. And had he not shown up, my life would have been so much different. Give me some more.
For I have seen God face to face,
Mhm.
and my life is preserved.
Mhm.
And as he passed over Penuel, the sun rose upon him,
Okay.
and he halted upon his thigh.
Okay, so now what's going on there is he is rising over, or he's gotcha. He is moving on in his life, but there's something that's just a little bit different now. This man, I want all of you to remember, this man fought with an angel for 24 hours. The angel crippled him. Understand something. From that point forward, that man walked with a limp. What am I telling you? When the Lord actually touches your life, you're not going to walk the same. Now, let me see if I can give you a little something. Watch this. Watch this. I told you that the man walked with a limp. Do you think that people who knew him before knew that now he had a limp? What am I telling you? I'm telling you that people who knew you when you were unsaved, now oh my God, because the hand of the Lord is on you, they notice the difference. They know there's a difference, and they know you ain't faking. Understand something. That man was not faking a limp for the rest of his life, but his walk was changed. You are not faking Christianity. Yeah, shy. You're not faking Christianity for the rest of your life. And I want you to know the Lord is, oh my God, where is this coming from? My God. All I is shy. Lord is proud of you. You now have a limp. You have a heavenly limp. The Lord is proud of you. So whatever it is you're doing, keep doing it. Whatever it is you're doing, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. We should be coming to the last one or next to the last. Mm-hmm.
Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the sinew which shrank.
Stop right there. Now, there is a friend of mine who is a Jewish friend, and unfortunately, I did not get a chance to talk to him. But I will tell all of you this. According to this and according to what a lot of, and just like you have Baptist, you have Methodist, you have Catholic, you have Presbyterian, you have different types of Jews. You have those who are Reformed Jews, you have those who are Orthodox Jews. So some of them do it, some of them do not. But what they understand and know is that their name was changed from Jacob to Israel. And because the name was changed, they don't eat that part of the meat, because they respect so much what the Lord has done. So next week when I come in here, I'm going to let you know exactly who it is that practices that. But we should all know and understand. You know what? I've got to say it again. I'm going to say it one more time. I don't know who it is. Lord in heaven knows I don't know who it is. But the Lord wants you to know that he's proud of your walk. Whoever you are, he's proud of your walk. I don't know what it is that you've done recently, but he's proud of somebody made a stand for the Lord. I don't know who you is. My God. Shh. Yeah. Shy. Why don't let's So there we're now talking about the man called Jacob. He is no longer Jacob, he is now Israel. You are no longer who they said you were. Okay? Long story made short, there used to be a song. I think used to be a song that they used to sing old school that basically nobody thought you were going to make it. But guess what? You made it. And not only did you make it, you're doing fine. So, let me pray. Spirit of the living God, even now, we thank you that we, even like Jacob, will not let you go till you bless us. Father, watch over us. And during this season of favor, we want your hand to be big upon us. We want your hand to be big upon us. Lord, even the shadow that we walk in, let it be blessed. We're asking this in your name, in Jesus' name.